Bon Qui, how you doing there? I am Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic and welcome to all the WTF moments from what was the go-home edition of Monday Night Raw for WrestleMania 36. I can't quite believe I'm saying those words in that order because it didn't feel like the go-home show for WrestleMania 36, did it? But it was. But that doesn't mean there wasn't some good to enjoy. Of course, we had fantastic promos from the likes of The Undertaker and Becky Lynch. We had an unbelievable promo from Edge, and then to top it all off, we had an unbelievable promo from Paul Heyman. It was unbelievable. I guess one criticism for this Raw, but understandable of course, under the circumstances, was the lack of professional wrestling action, but we also did get to see a quite fine tag team match where unfortunately we did get to see the second death on WWE television in a matter of days. Yes, after what happened to Elias on last week's SmackDown, Big Terry Ford also perished after a massive fall. May he rest in peace. Hit the intro. WTF! And we've got to make the first shot we saw on this week's Raw a huge WTF moment. Yes, we've seen the beanie make a comeback before this week's Raw, but the beanie and the trench coat combination, well, see you later, innovator. But that sight there means one thing, of course, and that is Alan, Mr. Alan Jones. He used his real name. Ooh, you've done it now. You've gonna made a big mistake, and I can't allow you to think you could just walk away. Oh, what a while. But then that leads us to a second WTF moment. Dun 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 dun. Kevin Dunn, why are we using Dead Man font when the guy we saw at the start of last night's Raw was not the Dead Man Undertaker? It was clearly Old Booger Red. Whatever the hell that meant, Jim Ross. Let's get some lovely green snot spelling out the Undertaker with blood dripping from those snots, because as we all know, Booger Red is a bloody bogey, is it not? What else could it be? Now, as we all know, 10 years ago from this very moment was the year 2010. What a horrible thing to say. 15 years ago was the year 2005. I'm closer to death than I thought. Anyway, old Booger Red claimed that AJ Styles did not come to WWE 10 to 15 years ago because first of all, he was a big fish in a small pond, and second of all, AJ Styles knew in his own mind that first of all, Vince McMahon would not sign him because he's a small southern person, which Vince doesn't like, but also because The Undertaker reckons AJ Styles knew inside of his own head that he couldn't hang with the likes of The Undertaker and Stone Cold, who had retired by then, and The Rock, who didn't wrestle a single match in WWE or anywhere else, I think, between March of 2004 and November of 2011. Kurt Angle, who of course left WWE in 2006 and went to wrestle with AJ Styles, where AJ proved he could hang with Kurt Angle, who The Undertaker claimed AJ couldn't hang with. And he even mentioned Eddie Guerrero, who of course sadly passed away in November of 2005. And after this promo from The Undertaker, once again we're learning that WWE are doing one of those weird WWE timeline things. Now if Booger Red has to come back, that's fair enough, WWE, but don't claim that when he was originally a thing was a lot later than when he actually was originally a thing. WWE do this all the time and I just don't get it. We have access to the WWE network. If you log on and watch Undertaker matches from between 2005 and 2010, you're not seeing Booger Red and a lot of people The Undertaker mentioned. You're seeing something else, aren't you? Just say he came back 20 years ago. It's not wrong with that, man. Let's move on. And then we have The Undertaker saying, AJ Styles, you're the phenomenal one. My ass. You waited until all the people I mentioned just there were gone. And in one fell swoop, The Undertaker morphs into Triple H with a lovely, massive, golden shoveler that is also dripping with both bogies and blood, of course, as he buried the entire roster of today by saying, quite frankly, they're not as good as the roster was in the year 2000. And that's even though we have not one but two lads who do the wrestles quite frequently these days who have beaten the Undertaker on the grandest stage of them all, point at WrestleMania. One being Brock Lesnar, I know what you're going to say, but still, he's around today. And the other being, of course, the face of today's generation, Mr. Roman Reigns. Now, we don't need told once again that the Attitude Era was the best time in professional wrestling. The Attitude Era poos right in the mouth of today's professional wrestling, but who the hell benefits from the Undertaker saying lines like that? Yes, we all know that WWE offered AJ Styles a contract back in the year 2001 or something, but Undertaker saying that there makes AJ Styles look weak, when AJ, in actuality, probably didn't even have the chance to sign for WWE during the period of time Taker was talking about there. That's not to mention all of today's roster who have been buried once again by an old man who should be putting them over and making them feel as big as he did on his rise to the top of the card, and an Undertaker is making the potential achievement of beating AJ Styles at WrestleMania seem smaller by belittling AJ Styles. I don't get this tactic by WWE, do you? And then he went and mentioned Money Michelle and how Money Michelle did the Styles Clash, but crucially did what AJ couldn't do and got the Styles Clash over. Now imagine telling anybody who has watched professional wrestling over the past 20 years that in the year 2020 AJ Styles and The Undertaker would be feuding at WrestleMania, Booger Red would be coming back, and the whole crux of this feud would be over Money Michelle and Money Michelle's finisher, the Styles Clash. What? And then we have old Booger Red saying he's going to bring the Unholy Trinity with him to WrestleMania. And yes, I do recognise he did say the Unholy Trinity, I think, was AJ Styles, who was going to feel the pain. He will get hurt and he will suffer. But I can't have been the only person watching last night's Raw hearing Undertaker saying he's going to bring the Holy Trinity with him and not think Undertaker, Kane, who else? Mordecai? Gangrel? JBL? He's unholy. He's an unholy arsehole. Who knows what might happen? And then big old Booger Red ended that promo by saying, AJ Styles, try me, I'll make you famous, like it's 2002 all over again. And I'm going to make that a WTF moment because that was absolute confirmation, if we even needed absolute confirmation by that stage, that this is going to be your Judgment Day, a cheap shot. That's the way that you can bear. I love that song. And now we have to think about all of the children sat at home watching last night's Raw who did not realise how old AJ Styles actually is. Mammy, how can a grandpa have such luxurious hair? Now we all know what Vince McMahon is apparently like, according to the news, when it comes to things feeling and actually being very old indeed. We all heard the stories about how he wanted to stop naming WrestleMania's 32, 33, 34, etc. and replace them with little symbols because he didn't want the concept of WrestleMania to feel old. So I'm asking, who the hell got that idea to put AJ Styles' actual age on a gravestone there past Vince McMahon? A year on and Ronda's shoulders were still up. WWE, edit that thing, will you? And then we have Jason Cade being shocked, asking the referee about Aleister Black. What is he doing, man? Oh my God, what's he doing, man? But this was while Aleister Black was doing the most Aleister Black of things, and that was sitting in the middle of the ring with his legs crossed like a lovely little handsome schoolboy. What a lovely cherub. And I was left thinking, Jason Cade, a professional wrestler, doesn't even watch professional wrestling. How can he not know Aleister Black does that thing? But also, we've got to make another WTF moment here. The fact that still, it's happening at WrestleMania. Aleister Black versus Big Bobby Lashley. Yet still, I think we've had 2 Raws since that match was announced, and WWE didn't do anything whatsoever to give us some sort of storyline for us fans to sink our teeth into. Why is there a WrestleMania match with absolutely no storyline whatsoever? Why didn't WWE do something with Big Bob and Big Al? Little Al, Medium Al. Akam and Reza shrank in the wash, didn't they? and also they became a hell of a lot more sexier. Wow! And then we have Zelina Vega saying, I have access to the hottest young talent in WWE. And when he walked out, I was thinking, Zelina, you can say that again, body lass. And I was thinking, just imagine what Mauro Ranallo would be saying when he saw Austin Theory debut after Angel Garza aligned himself with Zelina Vega, after Andrade aligned himself with Zelina Vega. My God, Zelina Vega collects twinks from the WWE Performance Center like Ash collects Pokemon in Fuego. I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, you go. Mamma Mia is probably what the twinks call Zelina. And I'm still wondering what theory Austin applied to not catching Terry Ford there. Because I think the theory of not catching Terry Ford there is really, really stupid. Quite frankly, that one looked, and more importantly, it sounded like it killed Big Terry Ford's back and legs and arse and potentially head. I hope he's alright. And then we saw an advert for the Big Show, and it looks like the Big Show is going to be a huge WTF moment. I can't wait to see it. It looks so bad. And then we have Kevin Owens calling Seth Rollins an arrogant dipshit. And if you were to line up an entire roster of names, what the hell am I talking about? If you lined up an entire dictionary of names and words that professional wrestlers like Kevin Owens might say on WWE Raw, dip would be right at the bottom. Dip. Wow. And then we get to the really rather sobering moment where we realise that Kevin Owens himself is Benoiting his own WrestleMania moment. The way he fingered that rope at WrestleMania 33, the win over Chris Jericho, it doesn't exist, not even inside the own mind of Kevin Owens, who won that pissing match. First of all, yes, it's expected. It's WWE. It's Vince McMahon. He's quite petty, but also it is really petty and it is really lame. And then to rubber stamp this point that Kevin Owens' own WrestleMania moment doesn't exist inside Kevin Owens' head, he claims he's going to take his first WrestleMania moment from Seth Rollins. And I was thinking from the stuff with Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 32 in the ladder match, the win over Chris Jericho and his lovely finger. At WrestleMania 33, he was part of Daniel Bryan's big return. At WrestleMania 34, he's done loads of stuff, man. And next up we have Tom Phillips doing what Tom Phillips does best, and that is Tom Phillips face fornicating the poo out of a lion on commentary. When he claimed this nothing match between Cade and Carter and Asuka with no titles on the line, no stipulations, no implications for anything whatsoever would be potentially a very costly loss for Asuka this close to WrestleMania. And I was left asking Tom, why? Surely the only thing Asuka would have lost out on if she did indeed lose the match, which she didn't, would be the winner's half of the purse. By God. It's a Jim Ross thing, that. Aye. Brock Lesnar wrestling on weekly WWE television? Kind of. The end is kind of nigh. Kind of. Run! The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh, nigh. And then we learned that Elias versus big baldy bastard Baron Corbin is still happening at WrestleMania, even though quite clearly it should not be happening at all. First of all, big baldy bastard Baron Corbin was recorded on camera trying to murder one of his colleagues. Second of all, Elias was filmed with an actual camera. There might have even been a few people around the scene watching Elias tumble the same distance Mufasa tumbled and perished all the way back in 1994. Elias did a similar fall in the year 2020 and he's going to be fine to wrestle a week and a bit later. No, Elias should be in hospital. Big baldy bastard Baron Corbin should be in custody. This match, with its build, which is a separate issue altogether, it shouldn't be happening at WrestleMania, but it is. Why is this match happening at WrestleMania? And still WWE are promoting the match between Roman Reigns and Goldberg, even though Reigns, yesterday I think it was, appeared on the Instagram saying, pals, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be on the WrestleMania card. Which, by the way, is the absolute right call from Roman Reigns. Now, during that Instagram video, Roman was saying that people have been calling him a coward and stuff like that. But if you're sat there at home calling Roman Reigns anything but the word sensible, you need to get yourself into the nearest bin, give your head a shake and get a grip. This isn't just a message that Roman Reigns should be abiding by. It's a message that here and today, everybody should be abiding by. Put your health before anything. anything. But the sight of Roman Reigns' Instagram video yesterday, and then Raw, which of course was pre-recorded, so maybe, just maybe they didn't have time to edit the whole promotion thing out of the episode, but then again, they did promote it on SmackDown, which leads me to believe they're going to do what they did to John Cena at the Royal Rumble of 2019, which they shouldn't do, promote John Cena being at the event all the way up until the kickoff show, and then whoops, Cena's not on the card. That's immoral, you bastards. And then we end with yet another sobering WTF moment, and that's the fact that Drew McIntyre, who is surely going to capture the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar this Saturday or probably Sunday at WrestleMania, he was not on the go-home Raw for that WrestleMania. Now surely there has to be a very good reason for Drew McIntyre not appearing on this particular episode of Monday Night Raw, because quite frankly, it's way too weird if they just decided, oh, this guy who's the next real face of our company, let's just leave him off the go-home edition for WrestleMania 36. That's just too bloody weird. But that is it for your WTF moments from the go-home edition of Monday Night Raw for WrestleMania 36. That was a really rambling video. I do apologise for what I've just put you through, but I'll see you later this week for all sorts of WrestleMania 36 related shenanigans. It should be going ahead, should it? Oh.